All right, hi everybody, it's me. Can I 22. You know what time it is? No Gojo. He's still trapped. um, I have mixed feelings for this episode. I'm really sorry. It's still a good episode. It's this one is okay. Well, let's get to the truth of it. Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, episode 13, Red Stance. Now, I have mixed feelings about this episode. Red. Oh my bad. Red scale. My bad. Red scale. Um, on one hand, on one hand, okay, the episode basically circles around Yuji confronting this dude. If anyone who's been living under a rock doesn't know, at the end of season 1, Yuji and Nobara, if I got that name right, Nobara. So Nobara and Yuji fought these two uh, spirits who were the younger brothers of this other guy who's with Morihito and Geto. His name is basically Chozo. Now, I have nothing against this character, but to be perfectly honest, he's an emo piece of shit. I'm sorry. I don't know who likes this guy, thinks he's a cool character, blah, blah, blah. But to me, he's emo. He's emo, and yeah. You know, hate to be the one to say that. Now, overall, he's attacking Yuji because he killed these two brothers. Nobara was with him. Hello, but all he cares about is that Yuji did it. Blah, blah, blah. So he's fighting him. The fight was good in this episode. I thought it was really good. A lot of going back and forth. He's using blood to try to kill Yuji. Yuji put up a good fight. But my problem with this fight is the conclusion. I don't want to say this. This fight was meaningless. I said it. Because Yuji did not stop this guy. And Chozo wasn't able to kill Yuji. Now, the fight itself was good. I thought it was very intriguing. I thought, Yuji tried to get close to this guy. He was dodging him. He was running, trying to read his moves, because he basically has the power of blood. So he coagulated his blood. He makes it into like a spear, piercing blood. He shoots it at Yuji. It goes really fast, so Yuji really had to really think. He got help from Mekamaru, who's that little tiny thing, and he has in his hand. And he gets him to go to the bathroom. Reason being, has to do with his blood power. Because if water gets into the blood, it basically can't contain its form and gets washed away. The fight in the bathroom was pretty good. This was a pretty knock your socks off fight, no matter how you look at it. Then, towards the very end of the fight, we think Yuji can get this guy and punch him. No. The guy had blood armor on and lost. And I'm like, okay. Huh? And here's the kicker of it. After the fight's over, he's going to kill Yuji. We see Sukuna telling Yuji, you're pathetic for losing to this riffraff. Call the guy a riffraff. And then after that happens, we look at the hole, see through the Jutsu's eyes, and all of a sudden he sees memories of him, his brothers, and Yuji. This scene is most likely Sukuna. He's fucking the guy up royally. He's fucking with his mind to the point where he doesn't recognize what's real and what's fake in his own memories. And then he's like, of course, being emo, walking around holding his head, and we see him coughing up blood, and he walks away. Listen, I thought the fight was great, and I'm giving this an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. But I think it's a downgrade from last week. To an extent. The conclusion does not feel satisfying. It just does not, in my opinion. He walks away, he doesn't kill Yuji, and Yuji doesn't stop him. Okay, Sukuna did something, basically fucked with his mind, and, you know, he's coughing up blood, and he's basically, I guess he gave him madness or something. But then he walks away. Then in the end, very end, we get these two girls? I have no idea what this is. These two random girls show up who I don't recognize. I thought it was Nobara and that other one. But no, these two random girls. The only thing I can think of is that these two were the girls that the real Ghetto, not the one that's being possessed by this cursed entity, had with him. And they showed up, and so, is that him? Let's begin. They say, let's begin, and it ends, the episode. And I'm like, huh? I'm sorry. It was a good episode. It was a good episode, people, but I find the conclusion very lacking. Very lacking. Because it's like, you basically are telling us Yuji is not good enough. That's what you're saying here. Really isn't. He has an epic fight with Mahito last season. And this season, he fights some, I guess that guy was a locust. Then he goes against this guy, and he gets waxed. Let's not sugarcoat this. Yuji got owned. He took a major L. He got outright beaten, defeated. He almost got himself killed. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what happened. And I feel, you know, it was a good episode. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10, but I just feel like this conclusion is bad. It's not satisfying to me. What would have been more satisfying is he fights Mahito. Yeah, the guy who, like, he hates, and this guy he doesn't, and he gets defeated, and I'm like, what was the point of that? I don't really see the point of Yuji losing. This guy doesn't even get to kill Yuji, because Sukuna fucks with his head, and he's off holding his head, barfing up blood. All right. It was a good episode, people, but I need clarification. What was the point of that? What was the point of that fight? It doesn't seem like a point to me. And then these girls show up, and I don't know what their role is. So I'm very confused. I like the fight. Let's be perfectly honest here. The fight itself was good. The conclusion was bad. In my opinion. Take it or leave it. People who want to hate on this video, you know, I'm sorry, but I need clarification. If anybody who's read the manga, just give me some clarification. What was the point of this fight? That's what I want to know. What is the point? Because I don't see a point. Yuji gets nothing. The guy who fought Yuji gets nothing. They both get nothing. Yuji loses, but the purpose of this fight was for Yuji to stop this guy. He didn't stop him. And this guy, who defeated Yuji, doesn't even get what he wants. He wanted him dead. He didn't do it. He walked away. Why? Because Sukuna decided to play mind games with him. So it's like, the only person, if we're being honest here, you know who won? Sukuna. He won. Because he got to fuck this with this guy's head, and he got to see Yuji in pain. I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of crazy wishing-washing silliness at this point. Because it's just, I like the episode. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought the fight was great, but the conclusion just put me off. It's one of those, it's like this. Huh? Like, what the fuck was that? And more importantly, what was the point of that? Like, really? He loses, almost gets himself, not only did he lose, he loses, almost gets himself killed, and this guy walks away in pain. So who won this fight? Nobody! It was a complete draw! Like I said, sorry, I know people didn't want a review like this, but in my personal opinion, I did not like the conclusion. And I don't know what these girls are doing. This is silliness. I don't know who these girls are and what they're going to do with Yuji. This is just complete ridiculousness. Now, next week, I think we're not going to get Yuji, which is unfortunate because I want to see what the hell's going on with him. We're going to get Mei. I think it's Mei from what the preview I saw. It's Mei. Something to do with Ghetto. I think she defeats that guy. Because when we last saw her from not this episode, last episode, she was fighting not Ghetto. He sent a cursed spirit of smallpox against her. So I think in that basically she's gonna kill it or something. But I'm sorry that this happened, people. But I just feel like the fight was weak sauce. The conclusion. I just don't like the conclusion. It's just like, what was the point of that episode, of that fight? The conclusion brought nothing to the table. And if people are going to complain in the comment section, explain to me what was the point. The conclusion of that fight. What does that fight mean to anything in this story? Does it mean anything? Was it just another lesson for Yuji to realize that he's weak? He is. He's weak still. But I digress. I don't know the whole story because I've been told countless times about this arc. It is one of the best arcs in Shonen. It is brutal beyond compare. So maybe that's why this happened in that way. Makes sense. This is Bob Kanai to I'll see you guys later. I don't like this guy. This shows. Stop being emo. I don't like emo characters. Thank you. See you guys later.